PTSD video blog, September 10th, 2012. Where to start? It's the 11 years after, or almost 11 years after the world changed. Wow. I was a kid then, man. What to say? I mean, I still remember what I was doing. Everything that was said. It's a day I'll never forget. It's a year I'll never forget. You know, but time heals all wounds. This year's not so bad. It's been worse in the past. I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel the same. It feels different. Which is good. I'm not as depressed. I'm not as down. Not as antisocial. I want to hang out with my girl. It's the first year after I've been getting help, and things are different. I feel stronger. I feel more capable of handling my emotions and putting myself in check. Not a lot of people can say that. But I still can't do fireworks. This last July, it was the worst one yet. I mean, they made my skin crawl. And I've been thinking about doing some drastic measures to be able to sit through them. Because I do have kids. I eventually want to see, be able to watch the fireworks with them. It's hard to tell a kid you can't do it, and then try to explain why. A lot of times they don't understand, and it's kind of hard for them to grasp the concept, or grasp the concept that daddy's not okay. Dads are supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be men. A lot of times we're not. A lot of times, a lot of things bring us to our knees. A lot of things. There's a lot of things. A lot of things. When fireworks backfires, any loud resounding noise it gets to me. It just puts me in a dark spot. And I try my hardest not to, but it just happens. It happens more than I care to admit. I don't know how to control it anymore. I'm trying. It's getting to be a lot. It's getting to be a whole lot, and a lot. Sometimes it's too much. Like I said, we just had to put our dog down. And Lauren's been a basket case. This weekend wasn't easy at all, because we found two pups, two small dogs that hadn't had a bath, hadn't looked like they'd eaten in a minute. No collars, no tags, just running around amok. We rounded them up, took them in the house, and gave him a bath, gave him something to eat, watered him, you know. And then the following day, we took him to the SPCA because we're in no position to care for two dogs. You know, not so soon after losing ours, and you know, it just opened up a whole lot of old wounds, well, fresh wounds. It just kind of opened them back up again, and you know, in my mind, we did the right thing because there was no way we could have taken care of two dogs that weren't house trained, that you know would require a lot of work, and we just didn't have the time with that between school and everything else we have going on this semester. It just wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have been good for anybody, especially them. You know, they would have been loved if we'd have kept them, but we didn't feel like that we could give them 100% of our time and 100% of our attention because we couldn't. You know, and I feel horrible for having to take them in because they were so cute, and but it would have required a lot of training and a lot of work on our part that we just don't have the extra time. So you know we made the choice to take them in to the SPCA, where they're gonna you know get taken care of. They're gonna get fixed up. They're gonna put them on the right track, and you know hopefully they'll go to a really good home together because they are a bonded pair. Um, you know, me and my bleeding heart. I may be a total barbarian, you know, call me what you will, but when it comes to creatures that really don't have a voice of their own, or they can't tell you anything, you know, I have a bleeding heart. I have a soft spot. I have a big soft spot for four-legged creatures. Creatures in general. And I think it's the unconditional love. So no matter what, I mean, they're always going to be there. They're always going to love you. That's the way Trin was, you know. I mean, Lauren had her for 12 years, and I was only with him for 3, and she became a huge part of my life. I mean, they didn't acclimate to my routine. I acclimated to their routine, and I wouldn't have traded it. Wouldn't have traded it for anything. Waking up, butt crack of dawn to take the dog out. You know, I got to see some amazing sunrises because of that dog. But Lauren's taking it rough, you know. It's all the woulda, shoulda, couldas. And I keep trying to tell her every day, you know, no matter how much it breaks my heart that she's going through this, you know, that we did do the right thing. And, you know, part of me really wants to get another dog eventually. I mean, I feel like I need one. Lauren feels like she needs one. She feels very off kilter without one. But we want to make sure it's the right dog. We want to make sure that's going to fit into our lifestyle. Granted, we live a very dog-friendly life. We like to go to the park. We like to go to the river. We like to be out and about. Especially for a high-energy dog, that's perfect. You know, here I am rambling about a dog. You ever realize how much you needed him until it's too late? Without Trent, it's been rough. You know, I was kind of hoping she'd still be here right now. I could use her right now. I really could. I mean, granted, it's not as bad as it's been. This year's actually pretty easy. We'll just see what tomorrow brings. You you never know. I mean, I've got Jack, and he's been a little cuddle snot lately, and I love him to death, but damn, he can be annoying. All up in my business, you know, but that's a cat for you. They gotta be the center of attention when they want to be the center of attention, and when they don't want to be, don't mess with them. I'm coping. You know, throwing myself into homework, school, you know, fixing things with Lauren, because I got a lot of making up to do. I made a lot of mistakes when it come to her. You know, and I don't want to make any more. I want to keep her around for a good long while. So, yeah, I'll make that happen. One way or another, I'll make it happen. Um, Coping. One day at a time. One foot in front of the other, and living with no regrets. I mean, I want to say, you know, on my deathbed, I didn't regret anything. I don't want it to be true. Um, Everything's a lesson, and there's a lesson in everything. Be mindful of that. Learn from everything, every day, every experience. Learn from it. Because if you don't, it's not going to be worth it. You're not gonna get any joy out of life. You know, live every day like it was your last, and never look back. Make a decision, stick to it. Don't flounder. Be honest with people. Because if you can't be honest with, actually be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. Sometimes being honest with yourself is a lot harder than being honest with everybody. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror for 10 seconds, there's a problem. And here I am sitting in front of a camera for almost 15, looking at myself in the screen, thinking I look like a dumbass. But that's not my purpose here, or doing this. My purpose is to get my experiences out there and hopefully help somebody in some way. Help them realize that you know, no matter what, it's going to be okay. That there's light. There's light at the end of the tunnel. It's a long, hard road, but there's light. And it just takes work. It takes a lot of work. You know, my counselor said that it was going to get harder before it got better. And, you know, it took me a long time to trust him. And it was only until recently that I actually started, like, getting to the meat of everything. And I think I wasted a lot of time with that. But then again, you know, I don't trust easy. It takes a minute. And, you know, I feel I can trust him now. And I hope, you know, this continued relationship goes, you know, the relationship that we have continues. I mean, he's helped me out a lot. And, you know, I can only hope that the progress I make is, you know, visible to everyone. You know, just not a few people. A couple years ago, I wouldn't have been doing this. I wouldn't have been able to admit that I have PTSD. I wouldn't have been able to admit that I had made mistakes. I wouldn't have been able to admit that I was wrong about a lot of things. But when you can admit all that to yourself, you can just wash it away. Wash your hands of it and just walk away. I wish there was a switch. There's not. There's no switch. You can't turn it on and off. It's always there. You know, mind your triggers. You got to figure out what starts it. You know, you got to find out what causes your issues. You can't skirt it. You can't skirt it at all. You got to be honest with yourself. You know, large crowds in malls do it to me. You know, it's a lot of craziness. A lot of craziness. But, you know, everybody's triggers are different. Mine, I've come to live with. I thought they were normal. I thought it was just something that everybody experienced. And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. You know, I know I talked about it in the last one, but, you know, it is what it is. And until you can start to recognize it, you can't fix it. But for now, I guess I'll catch you guys in another episode. Well, another blog. Till then, be mindful. You know, don't let everything get to you. And trust me, it gets better.